So Mind came into existence more than 12 years ago. That was in 2002. We basically started our operations in the F&A segment and the HRO segment. And today we occupy a very prominent space in the domestic market for both these FAO and the HRO. We broadly are in the top three service providers in both these domains in the Indian market. Size-wise, we may not be the first one. I mean, because in the independent domains there are larger players than us. But if we merge the two domains together, we may be the largest player. There is not a single player who is doing both FAO and HRO together in the domestic segment. In terms of our foray into technology, we have started about almost 5 to 6 years ago, very formally onto the technology side, wherein we have developed a BPM solution, which is business process management solution. This solution per se is used for servicing the customers in the both FAO and the HRS space. Over a period of time now, we are branching out into a space wherein BPM solution is given and the services are not provided along with it. So it's an independent solution which is getting sold to the clients also. There are also solutions which are partner related solutions like HRIS or help desk solutions, which we will be discussing more in the future slides, how we are using them. So essentially technology is also becoming a branch, and we are also branched out into IoT, which is we are just a fledgling initiative which we have done, and one of the large projects which Sunil and Manish will be taking up in the due course in the presentation in the vehicle tracking solution that we have done in that. So technology again is becoming a larger wing. We expect it to be occupying a space as large as something like 20% in the overall portfolio over a period of time. SIDBI has shown confidence in 2015 that they have invested in Mind, and today SIDBI occupies a board seat in Mind. It's also is a shareholder in Mind, and the first tranche of investment which has given them about 8 to 9% of the equity in Mind, and balance will be coming up in this year and in the next financial year. We work essentially with, as a customer, we work with Fortune 500, Fortune 5000, those kind of clients. These are large national, international companies in India. Having said that, there is also an SME space very prominent in our portfolio, which we will be showcasing. But 70 to 80% of our business today comes from large national, international companies, so which is Fortune 5000 kind of portfolio, which I would like to talk about. In terms of our presence in India, we are present across India. We are working in 22 cities in India. So we have 4 hubs: Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Chennai, and we have 18 spoke locations in India. Besides this, we are ourselves present in through a lean presence. We are present in Singapore, Middle East and Africa. And through partners, again, not our offices, we are present in US, Canada and Europe. So that's how we are, but we are servicing across these geographies to our customers. Now, partnership is another initiative which we have picked up in the last, you can say, 1 year or 1.5 years, wherein more formally now we are in writing, we are in JV partners with Ceridian. Ceridian is the second largest payroll service provider in the globe. So after ADP, Ceridian is the largest service provider, and we are representing Ceridian in India and in some parts of Asia. Ceridian picks up the global contracts, and the India piece or the Asia piece is given to us to implement, to execute and to deliver. So it's a kind of a three-way contract with the client, wherein client is aware that we are representing Ceridian and we service those contracts.
We go as Ceridian or we go as Mind?
We go as Mind. But a partner of Ceridian, a certified partner.
Transparent to it being Mind and Ceridian as partner. So we go in as Mind, we use our own technology platforms, everything is this regular payroll or compliance as we serve them. But we are within the ambit of the global project that they are implementing. So if they are using certain technologies or certain processes, for let's say UK or Singapore or any other country, we have to mimic that in India for them as well. So
But use our
we
technology.
use our technology. So sometimes technology for exchange of information is Ceridian's, but only for that purpose.
And Ceridian does not work with anybody else in India.
No, it doesn't. We are exclusive partner. So, I mean, just to give you an example, we are working for Fidelity. This entire contract is being brought in by Ceridian, and Fidelity global contract has been picked up by them, and India is the first country that they have implemented.
And it's also the largest out of the globe. So because they have the biggest presence here after the US. So it was a US contract, but India was the first implementation which we have implemented about a year ago.
And the second contract that we're doing for them is Heidrick and Struggles. So again, Heidrick and Struggles has been picked up globally by them, and we're going to implement it. That's a recent.
Mind use.
Yeah. You're right. That's Amar. Amar is also a director and more looks after South India completely. And so Amar, we've just started. So we'll give you an
Welcome
opportunity.
everyone, very glad to, and wishing you all the best, and sure we'll have great fun going forward.
Sure,
Thanks.
come.
What percentage of the revenue we do in HRO is on account of Ceridian, and how much do we do on our own merit?
So broadly speaking, I mean, Vivek can attempt it, but then it'll be not more than 3 to 4% today.
So right now with
Ceridian.
Ceridian,
Yeah.
we're only working on 2 projects.
So it's majorly our own business.
Yeah.
Ceridian-based revenue is not.
Right.
Yeah, but in the future we are envisaging that this will gain in percentage terms.
In fact, all these tie-ups that we are representing are last 1.5 years information, and it's the reverse also. We are also using this network to service our customers outside India. So Group 4 Securities, like we have won the India piece, and that we have won individually. Now when G4S approached us that how is your presence globally? So we have showcased our partnership with Ceridian, and we and Ceridian have pitched together for G4S UK. So that way Ceridian is also now enjoying the partnership, and we are also bringing the lead for them to that extent. The second partnership reflected here is PricewaterhouseCoopers, which is for India specifically. So PwC has found a merit in Mind as becoming a partner for compliances business. This partnership is about a year old, wherein we and PwC pitched together for a customer more connected with PwC, wherein the consulting has to be given along with the compliances. PwC plays a role of consulting, and we are the implementation partner in that case. Again, very aggressively, we started going into the market in the last 2 quarters with PwC, and the joint contract is yet to be signed with the client, but pitches have been made in many cases in this case. Another network now we are a partner of is Crowe Haworth, actually. Crowe Haworth is the big 7. So like we have big 4. So Crowe Haworth is big 7, and they are present in more than 118 countries globally. And India also they are present, they are headquartered from Mumbai. And we are now a part of their network. So again, it's both sides integration. We use them for services outside India, and they are not into outsourcing. They are a standard accounting firm, chartered accountant firm. So they refer business to us in relation with outsourcing as a part of the network. So that's another big partnership per se. UST is one of the large IT company globally, and they are not in the F&A and the HR space as far as outsourcing is concerned. So they have identified us as a partner for delivery, and this relationship is also about 6 months old.
So UST has a large set of clients across the globe, and their stated intention in the partnership with us is to take F&A and HR services to their clients, and also any leads that are arising out of their contracts globally. So we pitched for a few clients. We are yet to sign on the dotted line with any of the clients. clients, but it's an interesting partnership because they come up with different geographies, different requirements, which becomes a challenge internally to deliver also. So it's something that we work along with them.
They're an IT outsourcing company,
Yes.
also wanting to take up the business process.
F&A and HR. So, I mean, they are very strong on the IT outsourcing, like, so their large customers are like Mercedes and old relationships. So that's where they feel that a lot of RFPs come in wherein they don't participate as of today in this space.
Our success so far with these partnerships is Ceridian.
Ceridian
The others
and
are under incubation.
yeah, so you can say Ceridian and PwC and Crowe Haworth have been reasonably off the ground, because we have gone forward with a lot of customers exchange. Ceridian has been successful in terms of even signing the dotted line and delivering.
Yeah.
Others are in process, but these are the main ones in which are where we are spending energy on. In terms of service delivery excellence, over a period of time now, Mind has invested in these certifications, and this certification is SSAE 16 and ISAE 3402 and ISO 27001. So SSAE 16 and ISAE is essentially SOX compliance, and Grant Thornton is the compliance partner there in terms of audit, and we are following the guidelines specified under these acts as a protocol that we deliver. And this is also our differentiation point. I mean, in terms of Mind differentiating itself from the medium and the small service providers, this is one of the key differentiation. In terms of large service providers, this is one of the points that they already possess as a part of the global service delivery. In terms of our the 4 blocks that you see below, our top line is in excess of 150 crores. We are 1,000 plus employees today. We are 200 plus clients, and we are serving in 80 plus locations in India through our own teams or through our network. So that's how the background is. These are some of our group companies that have come up over a period of time. Mind being the flagship company, Mind Integrated being the IT initiative company, Apt is the manpower outsourcing company, Sandeep Mohinder and Associates is the erstwhile chartered accountant firm, and Mind Asia is the organization serving the same set of services outside India. So this is headquartered from Singapore. So this is these are our group companies, and when I reflect the turnover, it is the reflection of all the group companies together. It is about 150 crore plus. This is our presence in India. So 4 hubs that you can see: Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, and Chennai. Corporate office being in Gurgaon. Balance are the spoke locations. These spoke locations, we have our small teams or satellite teams, and these teams are essentially servicing the customer on account of compliances or on account of vendor management, or on account of help desks. So those kind of things these teams are working on. So essentially our advantage is that today, as when we approach a customer, our advantage is that we can service him all India under one umbrella. There are very few limited service providers in India who can service all India on their own. I mean, everybody can service all India through a partner network, but on our own, who can service through our own team on the ground, fleet on the ground, are very limited companies. So let's say for projects like compliances, fixed assets management, projects like payroll, accounting, customer can be present anywhere. His branches may be anywhere, his subsidiaries may be anywhere, his manufacturing locations may be anywhere. So that's the kind of advantage he gets is in terms of faster turnaround from us because of our reach in India. Now it's the reverse side also, that many of our Indian clients are going abroad. So we are able to service them in the geographies that we have just talked about. In 2008 to 2010, we used to be more like a manpower driven organization, wherein we were in excess of 1,300 employees, and we were focused on specific industries, of course, We were expanding across India. However, the revenue per employee was a low number vis-a-vis what our target was. The technology oblique solution that we were not working on that technology or solution. We were in the process of identifying that technology is an integral part of our service and it has to be given out. However, the industry was also like that. I mean, F&A as an industry was low on SLA in those days. It was more manpower driven model. HR was process driven industry at that time also. And most of the jobs were manual jobs. So the focus on automation to a large extent in the industry was more driven around ERPs. People used to be very happy with implementation of the ERPs and moving forward. This was that era essentially. 2010 to 2012 per se has been the years wherein we started focusing on technology, and we started giving the technology along with our services on a license fee basis. The number of employees was still high. That means our value add businesses were still not on the ground at that time, but technology had stepped in. Many of our customers had started moving onto the F&A as a SLA based model. So they didn't want people bodies only, they wanted as a process to be outsourced. HR again SLA based was there, and it got high on the automation at that side as an industry. And the need essentially was specific tools which could integrate with ERPs. So this was that time. And today now where we are is that we are essentially on a cloud-based platforms on a license fee basis. We are 1,000 plus employees. However, our turnover has gone up vis-a-vis those days. That means our revenue per employee has gone up, and that was a concerted effort that the entire team had put in by reducing the number of employees and taking up the business by going up the value add chain. We expanded into Asia and Africa region in this period. So in Africa today we are serving 16 countries, and in Asia we are almost serving about 6 countries. F&A and HR of course is high on the SLA as always. In the F&A also now the automation content has gone high with the customers. Workflow solutions, tracking solutions, all these have gone up in the context. Now today when we approach the customer more like a solution. They first talk about the solution that they want to view, and then they talk about a service. Service is given for them. So the market has matured to that extent.
Some of the areas that we are essentially focusing on in service delivery is something that we are talking here. The first portion is related to the HR services, thereafter followed by the finance and accounting shared services, and then the IT. So those are the 3 verticals of business that we have been talking about. So on the HR side, the entire solutions are around the fact that we are managing the entire integrated employee lifecycle management. So it's a fully hire to retire sort of solution for corporates who want to take up this platform. It's an HRIS platform having individual modules like recruitment, like employee information, leave and attendance, travel and expense, then goes into performance management, learning and development, and tapered off by separation. So this is a fully automated platform which we offer in the market as HRIS. That flows also into the global compensation and retirement benefits administration. Now this is essentially the payroll services where we are managing end-to-end payroll services and providing salary processing, tax management, and also all the compliances associated with any of these HR functions. Incidentally, we are also providing a multi-country single platform experience to clients. So that means that we are actually managing compensation for employees across countries and providing them the solution on a single platform. So they can simply choose the country that they're working in or they're interested in, and they can see all the statutory as well as payroll related reports of that country. Similarly, compliance administration both in India and internationally is something that we are providing as part of our HRO services. We are handling a lot of compliance areas which are directly related to payroll, which is, let's say, Provident Fund, ESI, PTAX or LWF. But additionally, we are also providing compliances on Contract Labour Act, shops and establishment, many of the acts associated. So there's a laundry list of compliance team that they handle in terms of acts. We are also on the HRO side, we are also very aggressive now on the recruitment side. So we run RPOs for organizations. We are carrying out recruitment assignments, which has in fact been started recently within the organization, but it has shown promising results. And this is an interesting sort of an offshoot of our HR business, which currently is in place. Apart from the recruitment business, there are HR functions that we handle for organizations. Now that could be onboarding, for example, of client employees, or induction administration, or any of the HR processes that may be required at an organization level. And I think as we go along, Ravdeep will pick this up in detail. So this will cover even performance management system, learning and development. These are all processes which we can run on technology platforms as well as a service. So it is a combination of technology as well as the service. So it's an end-to-end activity. On the finance and accounting side, we run,
We provide the technology platform to the HR unit of the company. So
Yes.
they use our platform to do performance management and all that kind of.
Yes, so the platform is
But
provided.
they run it,
Yeah, so it is a SaaS model.
SaaS model.
Yeah, so we configure the platform as per their company policies. We provide it to the client, and the client's employees also have access to it, which is a role-based access. So when they log in, they will see only their details that the company wants them to see. Policies would already be configured on it. So for example, leave and attendance, the leave policies of that particular company would be configured at the time of implementation. Thereafter, we give an HR access to the HR teams of the client, and they can actually tweak the configurations to suit any of the policy changes that may occur from time to time within their organizations.
But you say operations is being run by the company people.
Correct.
Or we put our people also to run.
So it is a combination. So mostly it is run by the company itself. However, for leave and attendance, for example, or for that matter, if we go into the PMS and the learning and development, there are times when the client wants us to provide that support as well of actually running the operations on that platform. So there is a overview, there is a control which we exert on by providing either a manpower or a dedicated resource as well. He can be based at site, can be based at our premises, but he's focused on just ensuring that the data flow, the configuration, any of the queries that are being raised by the client or the employees are being addressed in a dedicated manner. Otherwise, we have a combined sort of a help desk which answers queries of these clients who are using the HRIS as well, but not at a dedicated basis, but on a shared basis.
So if we don't put our people and we just put the platform, then we charge based on
It's a
employee or something.
yeah,
like
it's
that,
a
right?
it's
So
a
you
license.
basically pay me for using my technology platform.
Yes. So the license fee is an employee per person per month,
Our
basically.
preference is to do full outsourcing. Is it? We want to put
No.
our people also.
So actually, today's scenario, when we go and make a pitch for any of the HR services, technology is an integral part of it. So the client expects us to bring technology on the table when we go and pitch, whether it is for payroll, whether it is for compliances, whether it is for any of the other related functions like onboarding, induction, etc. So this platform enables us to showcase and bring those processes in an automated manner. So that is a very important part of our service offering. Now, the client may want to use it himself. In most cases, they do want to use the HRIS platform themselves. But typically, compliances, payroll, everything is being managed by us and provided back to the client on the HRIS platform from an employee self-service perspective.
Yes, so to answer your question, let's divide it into two parts. There are large customers of the likes of, let's say, G4S or Fidelity and all. They would have either their own ERP system, but that ERP system they may not have taken all the modules because India specific modules may not be there. So then they use our platform, which integrates with the client's platform, and then we exchange data with them, and our module works there.
So they may have SAP
They may have SAP
for supply chain and all of
Yeah.
that, but
Right.
HR they may have
They
ours.
may have ours. That is one.
No,
scenario.
sorry, but I'll take this a little further. For example, clients may be using an SAP or a PeopleSoft even from an HR perspective internally, but they may not be opening it up to all the employees as an employee self-service, and they may not have all the modules. So both these scenarios exist. So to give you an example, Agilent being one of our clients where they use PeopleSoft internally, and PeopleSoft is predominantly for HR processes as well. So they maintain their system data of record for the entire HR on PeopleSoft. Now what we have done is we have integrated with our HRIS to pick up data live from their PeopleSoft, and thereafter all these modules like leave and attendance, travel and expense, or any of the modules that they want to run within the organization for the employees are run on our HRIS. Payroll is also run by us. So we get the information from their PeopleSoft picked up. It comes to HRIS, it comes to our payroll engine, and all the outputs are available on our HRIS platform for employees to see.
And it's a single sign-on.
Oh.
Yeah.
You sign up to PeopleSoft,
They sign it
Yeah.
to PeopleSoft and they get into our
get into our system.
From an employee experience, it's the same what they were doing earlier in terms of logging in. They don't have separate usernames, passwords, etc. But they have access to much more modules what were available to them on PeopleSoft earlier.
Now what we're going a step forward is these are larger organizations. Now there are smaller and medium organizations wherein they would need HR support as well, whether it's in terms of learning and development, whether it's in terms of HR processes, besides the automation. So there we may give the whole holistic. We've just signed one client just about 2 days back, a company with about 400 crore turnover, and they do not have HR processes end to end. They do not have an HR team at a senior level. So wherein technology will follow later, but the first we lay down the processes and the path, and then the technology will follow. So that is another.
That is the kind of
Yeah.
holistic, right? It's got technology, process, setting up, everything from us.
Everything from scratch. But
Our
that's-
people also may be there
Our people will also.
as
be
HR people, right?
Yes. So Mr. Singh is in fact leading that project now.
Ah, okay.
So he will be doing consulting for them, implementation for them, and then the technology may follow based on the need basis as may be required.
Okay, got it.
So that's for medium enterprises.
The
Yes.
ESS is customizable, it can be branded as per the client's requirement.
Yes, absolutely.
Show notifications to employees.
Yes, so the ESS is customizable for all the clients. So we show individual logos as we open up for the client access. It is a SaaS model, so the customization is up to a limit. So there are certain accesses where if I change something, it will be universally changed. So with those points in place, I think by and large, most of the requirements of our clients are met today. So it is customizable for all practical purposes. Okay, so that's the HR space. On the finance and accounting side, we run shared service centers for organizations for finance and accounting, which cover processes like purchase to pay, which is essentially accounts payable. Vendor lifecycle administration is something that we are also doing for a lot of clients. AR management, which is order to cash, we are running as a process. Reconciliations, GL accounting, in the entire fixed asset lifecycle management, right from actually carrying out a physical verification to comparing it with the books of accounts, carrying out a reconciliation and delivering what are the shortages and excess. The entire aspect is delivered as a solution. Now on the F&A side, again a lot of technology gets involved. So from example, purchase to pay, for example, is something that runs on our BPM platform, which is our proprietary product platform, where it allows any vendor anywhere in India to actually submit an invoice online, and they can scan it, they can upload it, they can put it through the approval cycle within the organization. Once the necessary approvals which have been set up as per the authority matrix are received for that invoice, that comes to the shared service center at our backend, which is our processing centers. They can then be processed as per requirements, as per company checklists, as per various maker-checker controls that we have in place. Once that has been done, the accounting JV can go back into their ERP. So again, an integration in many large organizations is there. They may be using SAP, they may be using Oracle, and this is a bolt-on onto their ERPs, which allows the workflow, document uploadation, approvals, authority, the entire gamut of processing can be done on the BPM platform. And it's a seamless integration of data coming in and going back into SAP so that they have all the necessary records in their system. Similarly, AR management, which is order to cash, we handle for various organizations where the entire, right from the point when the company raises an invoice, thereafter the entire process is being looked at by us as a service. So right from following up with the client to actually receiving the funds, to carrying out reconciliations of what is payable, what is not payable or receivable from a company perspective. Invoice generation is on a need basis. There are some clients where we are also looking at that option of creating invoices, but by and large their billing processes in organizations is on ERP because it is automated. So we work with HCL, we work with Hughes, we work with Novartis, companies like that, where billing is by and large automated. They do look at our interventions in some of the problem areas, because obviously billing is still a problem area for most organizations. But AR is something that follows after the billing has been done by most of the organizations. There again, on the BPM platform also, there are various options that have come up, and we are also creating solutions around the entire process management. In fact, we are also looking at some international platforms which are going to help us in managing AR policies, for example. So especially in the pharma sector, where there are some specific requirements of actually managing AR policies at a vendor level and configuring that and ensuring that this entire process keeps that aspect in check. On the fixed asset lifecycle management, again completely automated. The various sites can be tagged, can be physically verified by tags that are capable of being read through barcodes, etc. And then the entire data that is being physically verified comes back onto the platform and gets a reconciliation with the financial books of accounts. It throws up any variance that may happen. And based on that, the next steps of whatever variances are and whatever changes we have to make are completed. On the IT side, again, we've covered HR and finance and accounting by and large, and we will of course deep dive into them. Finance and accounting is something that Saurabh and team will take into a greater lens. HR, Tamal, Ravdeep and the team will also take into account as we go along into the presentations. On the BPM side, which is the last sort of band, which is the IT solutions. So these are areas where these were enablers till today for all our services, whether it is FNA or HR. But today they are more like developing into a separate business line. And so BPM solution is at the is a cornerstone platform. So on the IT side, BPM is the solution which is cornerstone of the IT services currently. It has workflow engine, it has document management system, it has the capability of configuring business rules, various aspects. So any process, whether it is HR, whether it is finance, is capable of being configured on this BPM platform. It is a highly configurable engine, so we can understand and then define how the process has to work on BPM. So it enables us to work with a lot of options, whether it is HR or finance.
You already have two platforms, HRIS and the finance platform.
Correct.
So what is this one doing?
So we have used it for multiple use cases. One is a vendor related use case, wherein flow of invoices from vendor to the user to the finance team, and vendor portal and vendor help desk. Similarly, there is a use case of AR management. So wherein once the invoices have been raised onto the customer, then receiving the collections, accounting for those collections, and then putting it into the ERP. Again, everything flows back into the ERP as an output. So that's where BPM is being used. Then similarly, you could use BPM for, let's say, any kind of tracking solutions. We are even using BPM in IoT. So wherein vehicles which have the GPS fitted, so the information flow from the vehicles come again into the BPM. So BPM is configured for that.
What BPM also does is it gives us the flexibility of automating even certain processes within the HR space if required, because it is a highly configurable system. So of course, finance and accounting currently uses BPM in a large way. Analytics is another area where we are looking at setting up an analytics wing within the organization, which will help in sort of creating data analytics and also providing to our clients some analysis of data, which will take us to the next level of providing a service in this area as well.
So this is essentially where the predictive analysis can be done. Again, multiple use cases can be created. One use case around AR analytics has been created.
Okay.
Tracking solutions, as Sandeep has just mentioned, is something that we have also, again, which is linked to the BPM solution, is something that we have enhanced the capability of BPM to provide GPS-enabled tracking for people as well as vehicles. This is a unique service area that we have ventured into.
Just implementing for Indus Tower, wherein they have 10,000 employees on the fleet on the street, and they have 2,500 vehicles which are on the move across India for servicing these towers. So we are installing GPS. Okay, first of all, we have installed 700 vehicles in Maharashtra Goa Circle for them, and that's running very well since last 6 months. Now we are installing pan-India, these 2,500 additional vehicles, and 10,000 employees have a mobile app. So they again are being tracked through our application. And now the next stage for Indus is generation of analytics around this, that what is the best route plan. We are in partnership with Nokia Maps, Here Maps. We are using their maps for hosting the solution. And
Transport system
management. And in fact, we are fortunately, we are the exclusive partner for India for resale of Here Maps. And
most of these companies, they spend a lot of money on transport for
But
employees.
something this GPS tracking, many other people do, right?
yes, so many
Like
other-
Map My India has a
Yes.
GPS service.
Yes.
So what are we doing differently?
Right, so it's the same service that we are doing.
Because you put it in the vehicle, it will tell you where all it has.
So I'll take that question. In fact, where it started from was a few years ago. In fact, just about 2 years ago, where the problem statement at the client's end was that they were rolling out the 4G network. As a result of which they were employing close to 5,000 people within the organization, and they were going to be spread across 800 cities for actually rolling out the networks, the laying of the fibers, etc. So their problem statement was that now we are hiring 5,000 people suddenly overnight, and they will all need taxis in all these 800 cities, and we will be stuck with this huge backlash of people submitting claims, taxi reimbursements to be done, multiple taxi vendors to be addressed in terms of payments, etc. So where we brought in the solution, it was an integrated solution with the BPM platform, where an employee could actually just go online and request for a cab. The minute that was approved by their project manager, the cabs were in front. The cabs were then equipped with the GPS device. And the employee, while sitting in the cab, the BPM solution was also on the mobile for the employee. He just had to start a trip and end a trip. So getting on into the cab and getting off the cab. He just had to, like very much similar to Uber today. So he had to start the trip and end the trip. This information was generated as an e-logbook for the client, which resulted in not requiring the employee to submit any claims for using any taxis. Also, on the flip side, it resulted in vendor not needing to submit any invoices. Of course, it was a cycle. We had to convince everybody that these invoices, these logbooks are accurate, and you don't need to submit an invoice. We will pay you based on these e-logbooks. So that is where this journey started. And today, none of the cab vendors submit invoices. They get paid as per their e-logbooks. None of the employees need to submit paperwork of I traveled here, I traveled there. That is on actuals.
As in hardware, and a software, but you have to build your own solution around it as an
It will be
organization.
billing, it will not be consolidation.
Exactly.
It will tell you where the vehicle went.
Exactly.
That's all.
Yeah, so now our endeavor is that in the next 1 year, we kind of prototype more such solutions around this, like this billing platform, so that then the customer can get value add from these.
No, this can be offered to many corporates.
Yeah.
Corporate large MNCs like Coke or whichever, like HP, IBM,
Mother Dairy.
IBM, you know,
Yes.
have 100,000 employees. They're all using cabs.
Yes.
And they're all this manual method. Right?
Yeah.
And it's all pilfered, and we can never be sure what bills are being generated. There's a lot of manual reconciliation happening.
Huge team.
The
looking
system
at
that you
it.
mentioned, huh?
There's a huge team, you know.
Huge
transport-
team just sitting
you have
up,
transport department as
reconciling
such.
what is the start meter
Oh, yeah.
report, end meter report. But if you have this app for the employee,
Yes.
as an employee, I get into the cab, I start, I end, and after that I have to do nothing. So I
I
think
think
there is a
controls,
good use case
controls
for
will be in
this.
place. I think from the management side also the controls will be in place.
Yeah.
Because you know,
Correct.
when you do something on manual basis, you always have a chance of making mistakes.
Only thing is that the cab company has to be comfortable
Yeah, so I
that
think
this is a genuine.
yeah, so it's also a factor of how the client, how much aggression the client shows in actually implementing something like this, because when they will not be dealing with a single cab company across 800 cities, so it's a mandate that they have to actually put across that this is how it will work, without which it doesn't succeed very easily.
I
Transparency.
just attended this telematics conference in Bangalore last week, and I met with lots of vendors with hardware equipment and the software piece. Most of these vendors are doing 50 cabs, 100 cabs, 200 cabs maximum. None of them have an all India network wherein they can manage this whole thing holistically, and none of them has even implemented a 1,000+ cab program or even a vehicle program. Now our Indus project is for holistic, I mean both Maharashtra, Goa added to this will be 3,000+ vehicles and 10,000+ employees under one umbrella. So the sheer size is going to change the process for us.
So the Indus project is also very interesting and unique in its own way, because they have telecom towers across India, and they have close to 100,000+ sites, which they call telecom towers effectively, and they want GPS tracking of all the diesel filling vehicles that visit these sites. So that's the GPS aspect, and then they have a maintenance staff which are expected to keep these towers up and running 24/7. So they want to ensure that if they roll out a maintenance schedule to their entire team of 10,000 people, is it being followed? So they are actually geofencing each of the towers, and the minute that employee walks into that site, they are tracked on the map. They know how many people are at any point of time visiting which site.
And how much time has he spent at the site,
Yeah.
etc., etc.
So because it has the in time out time, because whenever they move into the site and move out of the site, that is captured. So, and it's a combination of the mobile technology, GPS, and also vehicle tracking. So those are the areas that get covered in the GPS enabled tracking solution. Mechatronics is an area where we are dealing with devices essentially. When we manage GPS enabled tracking, we also require tracking devices. We also require GPS devices. Similarly, we are also working on attendance solutions as part of devices, so biometric machines, etc. So that forms the mechatronics part of the entire IT piece. There will be more devices that come in, because today's mantra, as we read somewhere was a few days ago, was that the future of technology is that devices will connect everything. And whether it's a mobile, whether it is a GPS tracking device, whether it is a biometric, various areas, various items will connect everything, and the data is fully integrated and available on a single platform. So that is where mechatronics will step in as we go along. A lot of our client requirements we have absorbed, created the devices, or at least customized the devices for their specific requirements. And we will talk about that attendance solution that we have mentioned here when we deep dive into the IT piece. And of course, the BPM is also available on a mobile version. So mobility is also an integral part today of what the customers require. because everything is happening on the mobile instead of asking everybody to log into a web-based platform from the computer. So these are the three broad verticals of business that we are in, and each one of them will be drilled down in greater detail over today and tomorrow. So you will hear these many times over. Okay, so I guess.
Solution.
Sorry?
The tracking solution.
Yeah.
Is a mobile app.
It's a combination of the BPM and the mobile.
But the mobile app feeds into the BPM platform.
Yes.
That is how it is.
Yes. If somebody starts a trip on the mobile, it gets captured in the BPM automatically.
Yeah, this is one area which is very quickly Vivek, if you can cover this.
Yeah, okay. So this is talking about the scale of operations. We've also covered it in the previous slide in various shapes and sizes. But essentially, today we are working with 200 plus clients at multiple locations, and this covers domestic as well as international clients. We have 22 hub and spoke centers. Essentially, these are the presence within India that we just talked about in the map. We have close to 20,000 employee transactions today, which we are processing every day. When you multiply it by 30, it becomes a large number on a monthly basis. And this covers F&A, HR, any of these processes that we are running. So the volume is large. So from the RPO perspective, 300 positions being hired on a monthly basis for various clients. This includes the RPO processes that we run in large volumes. Industry verticals, we are touching a lot of industries, whether it is manufacturing, it is IT, whether it is services, all industry verticals. In fact, now we are dealing with the mining industry as well, which is an interesting learning experience for all of us, where we are handling their compliances in the mining area.
Which mine?
Kane, the Kane company, gas and
Kane, okay.
Kane, which is a Vedanta Group company. Manoj will know about it. Yeah. Okay, so on the platform, we've already talked about that there are multi-processes in finance and accounting, HR and customer management, multilingual capabilities. So our employee self-service is capable of handling multiple language requirements. And so that's how we also provide them local compliance reports in various countries outside India. And we also have a very strong in-country partner network that we have developed over the last 2 years. In fact 3 years, where through our due diligence processes, etc., we have an extremely strong and capable in-country partner network, where we work when we are managing a regional project where we have to deliver payroll and compliance solutions to multiple countries. We can process payroll centrally, but at a compliance level, we still need someone locally who will be able to understand and update us any of the requirements from a compliance perspective. There are many times local language forms that will need to be filled up and submitted to the authorities. So that's where the in-country partner works the best. And also sometimes there are in-country partner requirements from a help desk. So queries being raised by employees in, let's say, Vietnam, they would want to talk to someone in a local language, etc., etc. So that's where our in-country partner network has been extremely successful, and now they've been part and parcel of this network for more than 3 years. And of course, this is expanding as we go along. Some of our clients that we are currently working with, and we've segregated this into international assignments, the telecom, the manufacturing space, infrastructure clients, services, retail and commerce. As I said, there are 200 plus clients. This is just a sprinkling of some of the names that we work with. So we work with Comviva, Agilent, Berkshire Hathaway, Starbo is an African airline. We work with Airtel, Aircel, MTS, Motorola, Hughes, Uninor, Tata Indicom, in the telecom space pretty much with a lot of telecom companies. Delphi has been one of our first clients, which started almost 12 years ago, still continues. We work with 3i Infotech, Convergys, HCL. We run their entire shared service. HCL Infosystems.
This is it? Plant or the whole company?
They in fact have stopped manufacturing. So they have just moved into services. So last year they have stopped manufacturing any of the IT components. They are only into services now. So
What do we serve for them?
so HCL Infosystems, we run their entire finance and accounting shared service center. So we run their accounts payable, accounts receivable management. Again, BPM as a solution is being implemented there. The entire process is run out of 280. A large team is looking after it. These are large volumes at HCL. In fact, we have also started working with associated companies of HCL.
Infosystems.
This is in Infosystems. We are also working with HCL Learning and Development, which is a separate company now. So we are managing their HR function there. So the idea being, we have expanded our relationship from where we started. We are in fact also managing the HCL Middle East, the entire payroll and compliances. So it's a large relationship from a services perspective, HCL. Delphi, in fact, all 5 plants that are present in India are being serviced by us. Daikin, Birla Sun Life, Panasonic, Tecum Shah, NEC, Godfrey Phillips. Then on the infrastructure side, GVK, which is the Mumbai airport, American Tower Company, Indus, HFCL, Infotel, Hughes, Viome. These are pretty much infrastructure companies either in the telecom space or in the airport areas, airport space. On the services, again, Agilent being one of our large client relationships, Fidelity, we just mentioned, Fortis, Datacraft, Fullerton, Berkshire, SAP, Ameriprise, some of the clients. And retail, in fact, has been, retail and e-commerce has been a foray in for the last couple of years, where we've started working with Flipkart and Snapdeal and Amazon, which are large growing companies on the e-commerce side.
Grofers is another one which we've just started.
Grofers is something that we have started as well recently.
Jabam, you're doing HR, then you also want to
That's what
upsell into the
yes,
BPM.
we want to now do that cross-selling very aggressively, and that's one of the agendas for the BD team to start doing cross-selling.
So that we have successfully done in the past as well. So there are many relationships where we started either from a finance and accounting side or from the HR side, but not obviously as many as we would like, but we have converted services from one vertical to the other and expanded the relationship. Okay, these are the industry accolades. In 2009, we received Emerge Growth by NASSCOM. And then chronologically, I think they have put in all the awards that we have been receiving. The latest one being by Business Today Group and Yes Bank. It was the Star SME of the Year, and that was an award that we have received in 2013. In fact, in 2014, there was a Deloitte award as well, which is probably not mentioned here. But that is something that, so each year there, we've added feathers in our cap, so we were very proud of this. And of course, so these are the values we believe in. Of course, integrity, unquestionable. That has to be some of our, this is a cornerstone where the entire company bases its values. A lot of innovation and customer service. Innovation in itself is, we've shared some examples of how we have innovated for services or for solutions in the past. That is a continuous effort. That is a continuous exercise that we push our teams to actually follow. We are an open environment, so if somebody has ideas, we encourage them to bring it up from the chain and implement it as we go along. Customers, goes without saying, service delivery, customers are kings, but here more so because that's what we live for. So you'll see both posters across the organization that without customers we are nothing. So that is the motto that we follow as well in our service delivery. And of course, operational excellence, because many efforts, many initiatives have been taken in the past and are continuously being taken to increase the efficiency, the service delivery excellence. And when the operations team talk about each of their individual areas, you will see examples of what we have been able to do and what we even have intentions of doing as we go ahead. Of course, teamwork, needless to say, you are all going to be working along with teams, and that is something that is critical, because in fact, just this today morning I was reading something very interesting, that the organization success depends on, obviously, people, we all know that, especially in the services sector. And companies have been benchmarking IQs and EQs in the past, but they have now realized that organizational success also depends on KQs. And KQs, so IQs being intelligence quotient, and EQ being emotional quotient. So in the past, it was always believed that these are the success factors of employees, which has to be evaluated to ensure the success within the organization. But now they say KQ is the next mantra, and KQ is kindness quotient. So that is an integral part of your teamwork. I mean, it is not that you should be happy, you have to ensure that your teams should be happy. The minute that happens, organizational success, happiness quotient within the organization, everything is going through the roof. And that's what we want Mind to be, a happy place for everybody to work and succeed. And that's what I'll leave it at. So welcome all, and I think next slide onwards, Saurabh will be able to take you through the entire FAO space. And all the best, and please, we are always available. Feel free to reach out if you have any concerns, questions, whenever you want. We will be interacting with you during this course of today and tomorrow in any case, but even afterwards, please feel free. Thank you.